We're back now with support for survivors of mass shootings in Virginia.
A local lawmaker submitted a budget amendment for $10 million to begin a fund that would help victims. 10 News 9's Andy Fox has more on how this could help families of the Virginia Beach mass shooting. Andy.
Thankfully, advising we can send some rescue teams to get the casualties off.
It became really clear from police radio traffic death was all around.
Was the last known location where he was shooting through the door into the hallway.
Almost 3 years later.
If you guys can even wrap your heads around what it's like to step over a dead coworker and see a bullet hole in the top of their head.
Ned Carlstrom was in Building 2 that dreadful day. He wasn't killed or physically injured, but says he has hidden mental injuries, nightmares, flashbacks, PTSD.
By the way, you're not considered an injured survivor. You're just a person who walked out alive.
Joe Samaha knows plenty about trauma. His daughter Rima was killed as she sat in a French class at Virginia Tech, April 16th, 2007.
Their financial needs in the long term that they never considered. They figure people will go home, they'll be okay, they'll get over it. There's no getting over it. It's a lifetime journey.
Samaha realized the continuing challenges mentally injured people have who need help years later.
You'll get money the first year, the second year, but after that, people they move on with their lives, but the people that have survived the tragedy have not moved on.
This chart illustrates that point. After the first 2 years of initial benefits that end, look how claims skyrocket for 3 years, then subside, then years later shoot up again.
What happens to my body and what happens to my brain 10 years from now? Not just today.
So following the Tech tragedy and spearheaded by Samaha, Virginia agreed to pay forever out-of-pocket expenses not covered by insurance for 177 Tech survivors and family members. Now Samaha fighting for all mass violence victims in Virginia.
The Virginia Beach families have been in their own war. That was a war. They understand what PTSD is.
Samaha meeting with state leaders from Virginia Beach.
Again, reimbursed out-of-pocket expenses that insurance doesn't cover.
To set up the Virginia Mass Violence Care Fund.
Let's go big on this.
Big. $10 million to establish the fund that would benefit all mass violence victims in Virginia.
Virginia Beach would be the first beneficiaries of that fund.
Jason Nixon's wife, Kate, was killed on 5/31. Says the reimbursements into the future essential.
We don't have that support 2 or 3 years and we're nothing. I mean, my kids are going to have to go to counseling for their lives probably if they're missing their mom.
This proposed budget amendment is sponsored in the House of Delegates by Delegate Kelly Converse Fowler.
So in the different ages and what they're going through at each stage, losing a mother or losing a family member or how their lives are changed.
And in the state Senate by Senator Chap Peterson.
Is there support in the Senate?
Yes.
How could there not be, right?
There will be, and I think the question is getting the right amount.
I should be in counseling right now, but I don't want to keep paying the co-pays and keep paying for the insurance.
We end with tattoo survivor 531, Ned, talking about his friend.
We got identical tattoos because we went through the shooting together.
You saw the shooter?
Yeah, 3 times.
Now, we've been working on this all day. It appears that the budget amendment for the Mass Violence Care Fund did not make it into either the House or Senate budget bills to be considered. I'm told, though, that efforts are underway in the democratically controlled Senate to get the Care Fund put into the Senate's 2-year budget. I'll keep you posted. I'm Andy Fox, 10 on your side.